Dímelo, manito, ¿qué es lo que?
¿Qué lo que entonces?
¿Qué es lo que Kentucky?
¿Qué lo que Kentucky Fried Chicken?
¿Qué es lo que John Fried
¿Qué
Chicken?
lo que John Fried Chicken con una papita al lado?
¿Y refresco?
De los rojos.
¿Country Club?
Hey guys, welcome back to Purely Walking. It's me, Ellie again, and today we are interrupting our regular programming because I have the video that you guys requested very much, and that is the follow-up video on the video that I made 2 weeks ago regarding Dominican women. You guys really wanted to see a follow-up video regarding Dominican men, so here we are, of course. As per the other video, I'm going to make the disclaimer that not all Dominican men are the same. So these are just generalizations that people talk about or stereotypes that we in the Dominican Republic have placed on men, but not 100% of them are the same or fit into that criteria. There are men here that completely are the opposite of what I'm going to talk about, so take everything with a grain of salt. I have a second disclaimer, and that is because I got a comment on my last video about Dominican women regarding some bad behaviors that Dominican women were having out there in like New York or somewhere abroad. This man that was commenting said that Dominican women, for the most part, where he has seen, have multiple partners and they try to take money out of those partners. So he tried to deem that as a characteristic of Dominican women. I, of course, commented that that has not been my experience or observation. So the disclaimer is that the Dominican men I'm going to be talking about mostly are about men that live here in the Dominican Republic, because there can be some cultural changes and whatnot if you are Dominican but have been raised somewhere else. So these are generalizations and stereotypes, but regarding things that I've seen here in the DR. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You know that more than half of the people that are watching this channel in this very video are not even subscribed to the channel. So I would like to ask you to please subscribe. It helps me out a bunch. I just got to 7,000 subscribers, so woo! Thank you so much to all of you for subscribing. So I'm glad to have you here. And if you're not already subscribed, my name is Ellie. I do walking tours around my hometown of the Dominican Republic, tell you how things work around here. I do these little chit chat videos on what things to expect when you come to the Dominican Republic. So any and all requests, please comment them down below. I would love to see what you have in mind and store for this channel. So without further ado, let's get into the elements that you have to know before you marry a Dominican man. Let's go. The first thing you want to know about Dominican men is that they are complete charmers and smooth talkers, especially when they talk to the ladies and they want to get into your good graces.
Yo le diría, mami, tú tienes que venir con el rapper y tienes que ignorar a todos esos guaremates que te tiran por chai y solo te hablan disparate, te prometen bombones. Yo soy un negro chocolate.
Y que los dominicanos son los tigres que tienen más cotorra, ¿eso es cierto?
Completamente cierto.
Un venezolano que le dé cotorra a ustedes no caen en esa cotorra.
No.
¿Qué no tiene un venezolano que sí tenga un dominicano?
Saoco.
Saoco, o sea, los venezolanos tienen saoco. Y cotorra.
They know exactly what words to use. They're very expressive in their language. You would notice it even in our music, you know, Aventura, think Juan Luis Guerra, think all of those Dominican artists that sing very beautiful songs with beautiful words. Well, something like that is your average Dominican man. They would gallant you up. They would give you all the things you need to hear.
Cuando de pronto el pana se va ya, se para y él viene así para la mesa de nosotros, ¿no? Conocer a alguien aquí, se me sienta al lado y me dice, mi amor, lamentablemente ya me tengo que ir, pero no me voy a ir sin tu número.
They're such smooth talkers that even if you go to like your average colmado, your average convenience store or whatever, the man in the counter will be like, what you want, mommy? You know, like that type of little seasoning they always have in like the way they talk to women, especially if they find you pretty or beautiful. They would always chit chat you out. They will call you mi amor wherever you are.
Voy yo, mi amor, toda fina, a mi colmado, y le digo al colmadero, yo quiero una recarga. Y él dice, ¿qué es lo que tú quieres, mami? ¿Qué es lo que tú quieres? Y yo, una recarga, por favor. Le doy el número al pana, me pone la recarga. Voy yo saliendo del colmado y me llega un mensaje. ¡Pling! Me habla el pana, dice, ups, Se me quedó tu número guardado igual que tus ojos.
So they're definitely smooth talkers. They know what to say. They know what words to use. Another thing on this regard is the fact that they are basically hardwired to express how beautiful women are. So they compliment you even if they have never seen you before. If you're walking down the street, you can expect a Dominican man to say something about the way you look. A lot of women don't like this, a lot don't mind, and some men do say kind of vulgar things, so I don't appreciate that. But some other dudes just say something that is nice or funny. Just their expressions are like hardwired into them. They cannot help it. Like they have to say something if they see you walking down and they find you attractive. At the very least, they're gonna say something, so you can expect that from Dominican men.
Yo creo que los dominicanos son las personas con más amor y son muy expresivos con sus sentimientos. Son muy buenos en enamorar a las chicas y muchos piropos, muchas palabras muy lindas. Para hablarle a una chica le dicen amor o bella, princesa. Es una cultura dominicana, sí, me gusta. Ser mujer en la República Dominicana se siente bien.
The second thing you should be aware of Dominican men is the fact that they are not wallflowers, okay? They are completely street smart. They're the ones haggling or negotiating the prices down if they're shopping in the street. They're the ones out there hustling and solving problems. They're not the ones to be taken advantage of because they know. They know things, okay? They realize even at the tone of your voice, they're very like alert and awake to things. So if you're talking to them, they can spot a lie like a million miles away. They know when someone, wants to take advantage of them. They express it. They don't have an issue with that. They are very protective of like their families and things. So they have a lot of street smarts. And with street smarts, I am talking about what I just said, not necessarily about, those tigres that are out like in the ghetto. Of course, there are a lot of them in the Dominican Republic, but I'm talking about this little tigueraje where you have your street smarts, where you can handle yourself out and about, when you can solve problems and issues that arise in the everyday life. That is especially what I'm talking about when I say street smart, and the Dominican man definitely is characterized by that. The third thing you should be aware of about Dominican men is that they know how to dance. They know how to get their groove on. So if you are someone who doesn't enjoy that or doesn't like dancing very much, beware of the Dominicans because they sure know how to move. They can dance you up in the nightclub, even at your local colmado, down in the street, wherever you are. A Dominican man always has his moves down pat, okay? They have that little flavor, that little Dominican sazon. When they move, they know how to dance bachata, merengue, salsa, and everything in between. The reggaeton and what's going down here, it's like dembow and all those things. Dominican men know how to dance to all of that. So be prepared. If you are gonna get with a Dominican man, they're gonna sweep you off your feet with that dancing. Another thing you have to be aware of Dominican men is the fact that they are holding on tight to those traditional gender roles. So what I mean by that is that most Dominican men are tied to the idea that they must be a provider and a protector of their women, of their household, of their children. And in the back of their minds, the women are to be in charge of the household and the children. That's why a lot of, especially older Dominican men, are hardly ever seen in the kitchen or doing the cleaning or laundry or anything like that. They leave that up to their wives or the woman or the feminine figure in the household. And thankfully here in our society, we, for the most part, can afford to have someone who helps us in the domestic tasks in the house. Like we would have someone we pay to do those tasks. So that's in part why Dominican men are not seen a lot cooking or doing those type of things. But even if you have a maid or someone who helps you clean and do the traditional household tasks, the women are the ones that are usually in charge of being attentive to those things and getting those things done correctly. So they're the ones that are correcting the person or telling them how to do things in the house, the person that works with them. And so the men are more of the ones that are getting the money, they're hustling, they're protecting their women, they're protecting their families. And that's the mentality of your average Dominican man. Like I said before, this is more for the older guys, for like people over 50, 55. This is changing a little bit in Dominican society now with the younger crowd. A lot of young guys are also involved in the raising of children and involved a lot in their household tasks. But for the most part, this holds true still, that men in the Dominican Republic hold on to those traditional gender roles, and they expect women to be feminine and womanly, and they expect men to be manly and very macho-like and do the protecting and the providing aspect of the home and the family. Comment down below, do you think that's a good thing, a bad thing? I want to know your thoughts because this is certainly a controversial topic. And as per my video on Dominican women, I have to warn you about special figures in the Dominican panorama. Okay. And as per my video on Dominican women, I do have to warn you about specific gems out here in the Dominican panorama, and those are especially the visa diggers, the person that is with you, the guy that is with you only to get their visa once they marry you or they get engaged to you. So if you are a gringa, if you are from the United States, or if you are from Europe or one of those fancy countries that have a wonderful way of life or a wonderful level of life, then you might be in for a warning on this regard. I'm not saying that the majority of Dominican men are like this, okay? But there are some few and far between that do get together with people that are from abroad just to get their ticket out of Dominican Republic. Also, there is an interesting figure out here in the touristy areas, and that is someone called a Sanky Panky. Originally, Sanky Panky was basically just a male sex worker that would be around, you know, the resorts and the hotels and the beaches just to get to a gringa or someone from abroad that they can do sexual services to and have, you know, the green dollars or the euro in this case. But over time, Sanky Panky has also evolved to include someone that is looking out for gringas to actually hold on to, like to have long-term relationships with, and to get their money and to get their visa as well. So watch out if you are one of those chicks that goes out and about alone in the resorts. If a guy catches your eye, make sure he is not with you just to get those benefits that he can arrive from having a long-term relationship with you. So guys, what would you add to this list? What characterizes Dominican men? I would love to see your comments down below where I can also respond to them, have a back and forth with y'all. I love it when you guys comment and give your experiences because this helps enrich the conversation. So what has your experience been with Dominican men? I want to know down below. Thanks again to all of you that have subscribed to my channel. Make sure you don't leave this video without subscribing, hitting that like button. And of course, if you think my content is the least bit interesting, go ahead and share it with your friends. Also, activate those subtitles. There are now subtitles in almost every language here on YouTube. You can activate them directly on your viewer. And so guys, this is me signing out, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.